All right. In this episode of What Makes This Company Great, we're going to look at McDonald's and ask the question, is this a financially world-class company? So, how popular is McDonald's? That's a question that is really pretty amazing when you think about how amazing the reaches of McDonald's across the world. Over 68 million people eat McDonald's every day. 1 in 8 Americans have worked at McDonald's. That's an interesting one. That means they've been exposed to McDonald's operating system. McDonald's sells 9 million pounds of fries every day. And it's undisputably America's favorite fast food restaurant. So, what are the top products of McDonald's? It's not easy for me to give that exact answer in numbers, but from what I can see, it's fries, Big Mac, and wrap. I've also seen Happy Meals as third, so different breakdowns, but this gives you a picture of the top products. Have you eaten one of those recently? Now, interesting thing is McDonald's was really the visionary force behind McDonald's was Ray Kroc. He wasn't the original founder of the restaurant, but he bought it and then turned it around. From humble beginnings as a struggling milkshake machine salesman, Kroc took the helm and transformed a small burger joint into a global phenomenon. His innovative ideas like the assembly line system and franchising model propelled McDonald's to unprecedented success. And a little known fact is that Kroc purchased McDonald's when he was 59 years old, proving that age is no barrier to entrepreneur triumph. Yes. And about 5% of McDonald's restaurants are company owned, 95 are franchise owned. So McDonald's does a lot of testing and work with the 5% that are company owned, but ultimately their model is a franchise model. And that's an interesting point because it shows how a franchise model can be very, very successful. And that is a key. So Pantini says, it's cheap and it's everywhere. Yes, that is exactly the case. That's why I ate a lot of McDonald's, particularly when I was younger. So let's look at what McDonald's calls its big 5 international markets. Where is it making the most money outside of the US? So it's Australia, it's Canada, it's France, it's Germany, and it's the UK. Now, this is fascinating. And I really want to highlight why I love looking at companies, because what you start to see is that every company can build a competitive advantage in its own place, in its own way. Before we get into whether the company is financially world-class, I want to look at profit margin. According to my calculation, the average net profit margin of companies worldwide is about 6%. McDonald's generates an incredible net profit margin of 25 to 30%. This is more than 2 times the already high 12 to 17% profit margins at Starbucks. And this makes McDonald's one of the most profitable companies in the world. Apple's up there too, right? They're generating a massive 30% net profit margin, but nothing, McDonald's basically is doing it on a much smaller base of revenue. Apple is about 10 times the level of revenue. So you can say that McDonald's is just one of the most profitable companies in the world. Now, I did see some interesting news about how Carlyle and TrueStar plan a partial exit from McDonald's China. That's interesting. But you got to be careful when you look at what private equity groups are doing, because sometimes they're selling a portion, and sometimes they're just rolling over the investment into other funds. Now, let's look at McDonald's before we see whether the company is financially world-class. It was founded and has in 1955. It's in the consumer discretionary sector. 150,000 employees, $23 billion in revenue. And of course, it's Big Mac, French fries, Happy Meal. We saw wraps. What is its competitive advantage? It lies in its strong brand recognition, global presence, and efficient operations. Now, you'll notice I highlighted efficient operations because the point is that's the original source of the competitive advantage. The strong brand recognition and the global presence are later. They came later, but it had to be based in this case upon efficient operations. So how do they achieve this? They achieved it by standardizing its menu. This is the key. Ensuring consistent quality and service and implementing effective supply chain and franchising systems, allowing for cost control and rapid expansion in new markets. So the point that we can see from this, and I think it's an important point to make, is that in the case of McDonald's, they have built their competitive advantage through efficiency. Now, not everybody's going to build competitive advantage through efficiency. We saw companies like Hermes who are building competitive advantage through craftsmanship. So how are you building competitive advantage in your company? And how are you making sure that you get your company to bring that amazing competitive advantage that you're developing to the market so that you can generate a profit margin like McDonald's? So the question now is the company financially world-class? Here's how I measure competitive advantage as an investor and business owner myself. I created this 10 years ago. It's called the World Class Benchmarking Scorecard. And so here's how we create the World Class Benchmarking Scorecard for any company. We gather the yearly and quarterly financial data of 26,000 companies worldwide. And then we calculate each company's profitable growth score, which is our composite of both profitability and growth. And after that, we rank the subject company relative to sector peers of a similar size. And decile ranking is from 1 best to 10 worst. I would say that if you can have a score of 1 to 2, you are financially world-class. Now, we then assess the company's performance over the prior 4 years and the past 12 months. This is important because we don't want to just understand if a company is just a one-hit wonder. So what about McDonald's? Well, here we can see that McDonald's is a financially world-class company. In fact, if we drill in on that, we can see that the world-class position was held from 2019 till 2022 on the full year basis, and they're holding it in the past 12 months. So if you'd like to see how your company measures up, and you own a company or lead a company with $15 million in revenue or more, just comment or DM me below. And I would like to end this discussion by highlighting the fact that the company, your company, and any company can build a competitive advantage in any way. In fact, in the case of McDonald's, we can see that that way is being done through efficient operations. I'll see you in the next What Makes This Company Great.